So a year ago, in this very building, you remember that you gave evidence to this committee. You told me at the time, I am delighted to say that our universities in Scotland are actually quite well run. You went on to say, I do not at this moment see any risk to survival. And then you said, we are well-run institutions. Time will be my witness in this, but I personally see no risk to the viability of universities going forward. Now, at the same time, you knew that the cash reserves at the university were in steep decline, that the university had a potential breach of the banking covenant, although you've said this morning you weren't aware of that the Higher Education Times university rankings had Dundee dropping out the top 250, and also that there was an £8 million hole in that year's budget with no plans in place to deliver savings necessary to move into a surplus position. So a year ago, were you delusional or incompetent, or was there something else? Because I can't understand why you could have said all of those things to me, knowing all of those things.
So a year ago, what I said to this committee was, and you can decide whether this was incompetence or what level of incompetence this was, I believed...
Or delusional, I said. Or delusional. I mean, or something else. I just don't understand.
I believe what I said. What I was not aware of, and I've explained, and I'll do it again if the convener wishes me to, I was not aware of the covenant breaches. And the Gillis report is quite correct. The University of Dundee, me included, did not have sufficient grip on our cash reserves. And my belief at that time was that we had a rolling credit facility. We had the ability to dip into that in difficult times with international student recruitment, as other universities have had to do as well. I foresaw that we would have to downsize our university. Sorry, that's a terrible word. Take cost savings from the university. But I believed that would be managed over the course of the coming period. And what particularly hit us hard was the breach of the banking covenants and the loss of faith with our bankers, which came as a complete and utter surprise to me. And that, had I been aware of any of that at the point when I was giving evidence to the committee, first of all, I'd have given that huge amounts of attention, and secondly, perhaps I'd have revised what I said to the committee at the time.
Because there was a lot, I mean, yesterday was, to be honest, quite sad, because I think the people that were before us clearly struggled with their jobs. And the number of times they said, I wasn't aware of that information at the time, but no inquiring mind. And I mean, Jim McGeorge, Peter Fotheringham in particular, was clearly struggling in his role. And he admitted that yesterday. If you had watched the evidence, you would have seen that. And the chair, she didn't have a financial background, she wasn't inquiring. Were you not aware of the fact that your team wasn't up to the job? It's your job to make sure you had the proper team around you. Were you not aware of any of that? Because you are passing the buck on to everybody else, that you weren't told, you weren't aware, you hadn't a grip. But it's because other people hadn't told you. This is your job.
Well, I'm taking responsibility, and I've been clear on that, and I'll continue to be clear on that. The buck stops with me, and I'm not trying to avoid that responsibility. I've accepted it. I accept it. As far as the individuals you met yesterday are concerned, everything that I was hearing about Peter Fotheringham's performance was that he was quiet but effective and competent and in control. And that was the message that I got from his staff in Finance Directorate, and that was the message that I was hearing from the Finance and Policy Committee.